reporting from Woj. That just dropped moments ago as Blazers GM Joe Cronin explores the broader landscape. Lillard's agent, Aaron Goodwin, has been calling prospective trade partners and warning against trading for his client. Team execs told ESPN Goodwin is telling organizations outside of Miami that trading for Lillard is trading for an unhappy player. As interference goes, this is a time-honored agent maneuver to depress offers and clear a path to a predetermined destination.
Damian Lillard was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers in 2012 and immediately became the face of the team. Immediately, he won Rookie of the Year, has had 7 All-NBA selections, 7 All-Stars. He made that All-NBA 75th anniversary team. And quite honestly, who didn't like Damian Lillard? As a fan, people across the league, there was nobody there saying, I don't like Damian Lillard. He didn't have an ego. He was laid back. He was personable. His commercials weren't insufferable like other stars. Just a perfect guy for the team. And what made him even bigger and ascended his stature among fans was his attitude, grind, loyalty. He took on the superstar culture of the NBA. He went at Paul George for going to the Clippers, for running away from the grind. And after the LeBron Miami Heat, the KD Warriors, fans were clinging to this sort of energy, this sort of attitude, because the NBA had become just so predictable. Like the KD Warriors, you knew unless somebody got hurt that they were running through the title. And kind of the same with the Miami Heat. It became just way too predictable. And so somebody like Dame was a breath of fresh air. But unfortunately, Dame's mindset and attitude, it led to very little winning for the Portland Trail Blazers. His high watermark was an Western Conference Finals appearance where he got swept against the KD Warriors in 2019. And Dame got hurt, but let's be real. Dame could have had the best games of his career, and they're still getting swept by the KD Warriors. Nobody in the NBA would be beating a healthy KD Warriors, because I do know that Toronto beat them that year, but we know it happened. So, every year, and especially the last few seasons, Portland has gotten worse and worse. And fans have been kind of starting to beg Dame to request a trade. He's not getting any younger. And this past Portland season had just been absolutely horrendous. So horrendous that Dame could have come back in early April to play, but Portland shut him down because they were so far out of contention for the play-in tournament that they didn't see the point. And so the off-season comes, right? And fans are begging, Dame, get out of Portland, please, for the love of God, leave Portland. And Dame kept saying the same thing, whether it's through his agent, Chris Haynes, whatever, is I am committed to building staying in Portland, staying loyal, and I look forward to the Portland Trail Blazers building a winning contender around me. And I don't want to leave, and I don't want to request a trade. And Portland, the team, they were saying the same thing because they could have traded Dame at the deadline, but they didn't. And it was all about, let's get Dame some dudes. But the truth of the matter is, nobody wants to play in Portland. It's just not a desirable market. It's not LA, New York, Miami, Boston. It's not a team like that. It's the Trailblazers, and people, quite honestly, don't care. But so the team's bad, and then finally, last Saturday, thank God, Dame finally requests a trade. It was after the Trailblazers selected Scoot Henderson with their lottery pick and gave Jeremy Grant, who's okay at best, a lot of money. Dame finally requested the trade. So naturally, a guy like Dame, a star in the league, there were a lot of interest across the league with teams, right? The Knicks, the Nets, the Celtics, Philly, and obviously Miami. And it was known that Dame liked Miami, and that was a preferred destination. He did an interview where he was asked the question essentially using the clause, if Portland traded you, where would you want to go? And he said Miami because Bam was his dog, and then he said Brooklyn because McCall was his dog. So it was known that he wanted to play in Miami. He had interest there. And look, every player ever has a preferred team. That's just the truth. People see a team, they see a fit, and they say, it would be great to go here. But what Portland did not realize, and fans did not realize, was Miami was the only team that Dame would go to. So Dame requests a trade, and he says, I will only go to Miami. So it's not even that I'll stay or go to Miami. It's I'm only going to Miami. And look, the truth, Dame didn't sign a contract with a no-trade clause. He signed a contract that it's not Bradley Beal. Dame doesn't have the right to demand anything, even if he's been loyal for a decade, whatever. He doesn't have that right, but because guess what? Miami has, of the teams I kind of named, in my opinion, the worst trade package. Because the understanding that I have is it would be Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, and some picks. Tyler Hero sucks as a good player. He doesn't defend. He's way too ball dominant. And I actually feel like when he's not on the floor, the Heat move a lot better. He's not somebody that I'd want on my team. He's also a guard. And I don't know why Portland would want him unless they just would want to move him elsewhere. Then you get Kyle Lowry, who's like 100 years old. And then you get some draft picks that aren't going to be good. They'll be in the late 20s. It doesn't really make sense for Portland in general. And for me, for Dame desperately, at least he came off that way, desperately wanting to win a ring. He's not getting any younger. And Boston wanted him. Tatum wanted him. Tatum recruited him. And Dame has been so adamantly anti-Boston. And I think that is just quite frankly absurd. And I might be biased as a Celtics fan, but how can you not, see that? Boston is the odds-on favorite to win this upcoming season. And let me ask, what position don't they have right now? Oh yeah, point guard. Dame would have help. And I don't even think you'd have to give up Jaylen Brown. You'd have a insane starting five. And the clear favorite in Dame would have a very, very good chance of finally becoming a champion, which just so seemed to be his desire. But instead, he's holding Portland hostage with a C+ trade offer when there are so many others, not just Boston, but Philly and the Knicks. Philly would probably send Tyrese Maxey, who's way better than Tyler Hero. The Knicks would send RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, way better than the Miami Heat. But Dame's holding Portland hostage. Dame is putting Portland in such a bad position because he doesn't want to stay there, which I get, for the record. I would have left years ago if I were Dame. But he doesn't want to stay there, but he also is demanding that he goes to one team without a no-trade clause. His agent's calling other teams saying don't trade for him. So now not only are you making Portland in a weird spot, but Miami doesn't really have to do anything right now. Why would they negotiate against themselves? If the trade's happening and Miami's the only team, Pat Riley's not an idiot. He's gonna wait. He'll probably end up sending over a bag of Fritos and Kyle Lowry instead somehow, because there's no competition from the other teams. So Dame's image to me has taken a massive hit because this looks so bad in so many different ways. Him not being decisive this whole offseason so far and last season, I hated it. I hate indecisiveness. And he talked about not going to super teams, but Dame's only request is to go to the team that won the Eastern Conference and went to the NBA Finals. Kind of sounds like a super team to me, so he's sort of contradicting himself. And yeah, going to Boston would be the same thing, but it's more the general idea of Damian Lillard. It feels like a lot of what he's preached has now become, in my eyes, a little bit of a lie, a little overstated. And when I look back now as to why Damian Lillard didn't want to leave Portland, I don't see the reason as loyalty to Portland. I see a guy that wanted to be a superstar, beloved by fans, which he was, on a team that nobody cared about and nobody had any expectations for, in a city that nobody cared about and nobody had any expectations for, a small market, where he could make $60 million, be the highest paid player, have the game winners, have the cool Dame Time nicknames, be the man, but not get criticized like other superstars do. That to me is why Dame wanted to stay in Portland. He hoped that, yeah, they'd add talent, but that just was never gonna happen. Free agents didn't want to go there. And then on top of that, Dame became, again, looking back, the super team virtue signaler, the anti-super team virtue signaler, right? Hating on the KDs of the world, or at least KD was transparent, because I think Dame also wanted that too, just as in his own way. He became stubborn because Dame just could not accept that the truth of the matter is he's not a first option on a championship team, and probably never was. An incredible 2, but not a 1. They had CJ McCollum as a duo, and they couldn't do anything. But Dame could never believe that. And so, to me, it's just very unfortunate, because in the NBA, in Dame's legacy as a player in general, the differentiator could have been that he was loyal and that he stood up against the super team era, when teams run and they go form with their friends and go try to buy championships. Dame was all against that, even without the championship. He was loyal. And this image would have completely stayed had he quietly gotten traded, not made a stink, even if it was to Miami, but just his whining and his entitlement. Now to me, he's just another great star that played in the league, and it's disappointing.